Luc Bouchard with Solve Act Life Coaching Services. I've been a certified life skills coach for 22 years and I specialize in men's issues and what keeps people stuck. Welcome. Today is day 35, one day shy of the 72-day challenge midway point. I'm very excited about, we're halfway done the video challenge and it's been a great time. I've learned a lot. So I've learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my capacity and what I can do, and about technology and overcoming barriers. And time management has been really a bit of a focus. And I just want to say thank you for sticking with me and watching this. I'm really excited that we've come this far, and I know that I will be, plugging forward and basically taking care of the rest of the 36. This is the 5th week of the 10-week challenge. Our weekly theme is how men keep themselves safe, and the daily focus is the life skills process. Our topic today is what keeps people in their issues, or what the payoff to their issues are. A couple weeks ago, I covered the life skills process, and in talking about the life skills process, I specifically focused on taking people from unconsciously incompetent to unconsciously competent, and that there's 4 steps to get people to that. And the first one was obviously getting them from unconsciously incompetent. I don't think you're going to see these, but I'm just going to hold them through anyway. To consciously incompetent. Then from there, we take them to consciously competent, where they're actually becoming aware of their issues and they're understanding what gets in the way. And then they get to a skill set and they get to a place where they're unconsciously competent and they just move on from their issues. Well, that's actually how I move people forward and move them to getting to a place of resolve and understanding what gets in their way, or understanding what the process is. But today we're going to specifically talk about helping people understand what their payoff is to have their issues. And I'm going to use a visual. And the visual is a lemon on a plate. So we have a lemon closer, lemon farther, lemon closer, lemon farther. And the lemon represents a person with a sour disposition, a sour, just an unagreeable person, someone that is just really not very happy and not really, as my mother would call him, is a unfortunate personality in a lot of ways. And I'm sure we've all had a lot of those people in our life. So the lemon is basically people that are not happy, and they're just kind of sourpusses, we're going to call them that. So one of the things I will tell people I work with, and I think I've said in these videos, is that we all get to have our issues. We all get to have our particular problems, our warts, wrinkles, and wonderment. And that can be represented as, this is our issues, right? Is that we're not particularly very happy, or it doesn't really matter if it's someone who, let's say, can't show up on time, or is never able to follow through the commitments, or if they're a sourpuss. Doesn't really matter. It's their issues, and they get to have them. So that's not really what I focus on in my process. It's not that this is going on. My focus is, what's the payoff to have the issues? Or said differently, what's propping up the issues? So not focusing on the plate and what's on the plate, but focusing on what's holding up the plate is really what I do. And we can look at the sourpusses of the world and say that, yeah, they're sourpusses and that they're not really happy and they're really disagreeable in a lot of ways. And we can do that. But unless we understand what their payoff is, what their need is to be sourpusses, what it affords them, what they get out of it, it's still going to be there. So I will often talk to people about, how long they've been aware of this being an issue. And so that's when they are consciously incompetent. And then I'll do some more work with them and go, okay, so what do you think your payoff was to have that? What do you get out of that? And through discovery of a lot of questions and a lot of open-ended questions and not really being prescriptive, we get to a point of where they understand that somehow they learned that behavior, and that behavior affords them something and gives them something. And often people are surprised as to that they actually have a payoff, and they're shocked that they're actually getting something out of it. And that at some point it really is about safety. And further to that, what is even further down to the safety and what is kind of propping that up is deservingness and worthiness. And that's what I'll always focus on. You guys are probably tired of hearing me talking about it. And the idea is that if you have a disagreeable personality, if you have an unfortunate personality, or you are, not really pleasant to be around, well, why would you do that if there's not a payoff? What do you get out of it? And that's really what the question is about in my practice with people. What does it afford you? And do you want to be like that for the rest of your life? Being a sourpuss, having a hard time making commitments, having a hard time following through, needing to be a savior and save the day, ride in on your trusty steed, not being able to keep work, not being able to maintain relationships, having anger issues, are all choices, pure and simple. And if you think that your lot in life is to be a certain way, there's a word for that, and it's called being a victim. Because then you're just subject to what happens, and really it's not, and you're not taking responsibility for your life. So you can be a sourpuss and see how lonely you are and how people stay away from you, or how you don't really have good relationships. Or you can basically look at it and go, what's propping that up? Because it really is a choice, pure and simple. Whether we stay stuck is really up to you. Whether or not we continue to have problems is really up to you. What we do about them is also up to you. So seek help. Luc Bouchard with Solvac Life Coaching Services. I've been a certified life skills coach for 22 years, and I deal with the sourpusses of the world. Take one bite out of them at a time. Whoa! You have a great day. See you later. Wow. That was like, wow.